Clara and Sheriff Brackett, still reeling from their encounter at the mausoleum, sat in the sheriff's office, surrounded by notes, photos, and Hunton's journal. The atmosphere was tense but electric with a renewed sense of purpose. They had made a breakthrough, but something still didn't sit right with Clara. "I've been thinking," Clara began, tapping a pen against her notebook. "If Josh Hunton's spirit was bound to the forest, why did it feel like we were dealing with something or someone much more alive?" Brackett looked up from the journal, his brow furrowed. "What are you getting at? What if we've been misled? What if Hunton didn't die in the woods? What if he had a follower? Someone continuing his work, using the legend to cover their tracks?" Brackett nodded slowly, the idea taking root in his mind. It would explain a lot, but who and why? Their thoughts were interrupted by the ring of Brackett's phone. He answered it, his expression growing more serious with each word. "Another disappearance," he said after hanging up. "A teenager, last seen near the forest." Clara felt a chill run down her spine. "We need to find out more about Josh Hunton's life, his connections. There must be something in the past that links to the present." They headed to the Pinebrook Historical Society, hoping to unearth more about Hunton's life before he became a legend. Mrs. Caldwell, the society's elderly curator, greeted them warmly and led them to the archives. Clara sifted through old newspapers and public records, her fingers brushing against faded photographs and brittle documents. An article from 1920 caught her eye. "Look at this," she said, handing it to Brackett. The headline read, "Local businessman Josh Hunton involved in charitable work." "He was a respected member of the community," Brackett said, scanning the article. "But there's always been a duality in his story. People either saw him as a saint or a devil." Further digging revealed more about his associates. One name kept recurring: Edward Cromwell, a close friend and business partner. The two were involved in several ventures together, including a secretive club known for its interest in the occult. "Let's visit Cromwell's old residence," Clara suggested. "Maybe we'll find something there." The Cromwell mansion was a decaying relic on the outskirts of town, its grandeur long faded. They broke in, the air inside thick with dust and memories of a bygone era. In the study, they found a hidden compartment behind a bookshelf, revealing a stash of letters and documents. Clara picked up a letter dated just days before Hunton's disappearance. It was from Cromwell, filled with cryptic references to continuing the work and a new heir. "New heir?" Brackett repeated. "This confirms our suspicion. Hunton had a follower." As they read through more letters, a name emerged: Victor Langley, a young protege of Cromwell and Hunton. Langley had been a promising student, but his academic career ended abruptly, coinciding with Hunton's disappearance. Clara's mind raced. "We need to find Langley. If he's the one behind the recent disappearances, we need to stop him." Their search led them to an abandoned factory on the edge of Pinebrook, where Langley had been seen. Inside, they found a labyrinth of rooms filled with symbols and ritualistic paraphernalia. The air was thick with the sense of impending danger. In the center of a large, dimly lit room, they found a series of puzzles laid out on a table, along with a note: "Solve these, and you'll find me." The first puzzle was a series of interconnected rings that needed to be separated. Clara and Brackett worked together, their hands moving quickly but methodically. After a tense few minutes, the rings came apart. The second puzzle was a complex cipher, with letters and numbers arranged in a grid. Clara's eyes lit up as she realized it was a substitution cipher. She and Brackett decoded it, the message revealing coordinates to a specific location in the factory. The third and final puzzle was a riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? A whisper, Clara said confidently. Brackett nodded in agreement, and they moved towards the coordinates, their senses heightened. They found a hidden room, and inside, Victor Langley stood waiting, a twisted smile on his face. "Welcome, Clara and Sheriff Brackett," he said, his voice smooth and chilling. "I've been expecting you." Clara stepped forward, her eyes locked on Langley. "You're not continuing Hunton's work. You're exploiting his legend for your own twisted purposes." Langley's smile widened. "Perhaps. But the legend of Josh Hunton has always been about power. And now, that power is mine." Before they could react, Langley triggered a trap, locking them inside. "To be continued," he taunted, disappearing into the shadows. Clara and Brackett were left in the darkness, the weight of their discovery pressing down on them. The real fight had just begun, and they were more determined than ever to bring Langley to justice and end the nightmare haunting Pinebrook once and for all.